Hello dearies, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my weird and strange occurrences from my childhood and adolescent years. I don't want to call them ghosts. Let me know what you think in the comments at the end of the video. I'm curious to know what you think. I don't know if I truly believe in ghosts. I was a huge fan of ghost hunters back in the day. I used to watch that all the time. I was obsessed with true ghost stories and watching those videos showing what people thought were ghosts in the videos and the different photographs of ghosts and spirits, though sometimes I never saw anything in those. But it was still interesting to see, and I don't know. Part of me thinks that ghosts are just on a different dimension or a different timeline or what have you. That's just kind of crossing into ours for a short period because we don't see them all the time. In fact, we rarely see them. So that's just my thought pattern. I could be completely wrong. I'm hoping that we'll find more information once people do more investigations and such. But growing up, I suffered from horrible night terrors from around the age of 7 or 8. It actually started when I moved into my grandfather's house, who passed away. And that could be just a coincidence, too. It was actually a hard time in my life, which probably triggered the night terrors. Though the night terrors were really disturbing for an 8-year-old, and I did see a therapist. Actually, I think I saw a couple therapists during that time because of my night terrors. So I don't know if what I saw or what I experienced during that time was real or not because of my night terrors. If you want to know more about them, let me know in the comments and I'll make another video talking about those and what may have contributed to my night terrors. So when my parents and I moved into my grandfather's house after he passed, I always felt like I was being watched in the house, and I hated having my door shut, except during the day. During the day it didn't matter. From those years on, I had weird experiences. My bedroom at my grandfather's home faced the hallway to the top of the stairs. On one night, after awakening from another terrifying nightmare, I could have swore I saw a child's hand on the railing, and my leap motion's acting odd. I do apologize for that. So she might be doing some weird stuff. I'm trying not to let that distract me, because there's a lot to cover for this. So after seeing the child's hand on the railing, I screamed for my parents, of course, and I'm not entirely sure if I did see a child's hand. I don't know if my brain fabricated it because I was already scared, or if it was really there, or I could have still been having my night terror, and that wasn't uncommon for me. I also had a Furby in my closet, like every kid of the 90s. I kept him behind a bunch of toys so light wouldn't hit the sensor to turn him on. However, for some odd reason, in the middle of the night, it turned on and started talking and making tons of noise, waking my parents, who yelled at me for playing with my toys in the middle of the night instead of sleeping. The problem was I never left my bed. But of course, my parents, how do you explain it? And parents, that's what parents do. They don't always listen to their kids. I mean, their kids tell them that there's monsters under the bed and all kinds of other stuff. So I don't blame my parents. Another odd occurrence happened in the middle of the summer. I was outside on the front porch playing with a doll, and I don't even know why I was playing with a doll because dolls freaked me out when I was a kid. But this doll in particular could move its eyes, open and close its mouth, blink, and its eyes could actually move back and forth and up and down. It was kind of creepy. But only if it had a cassette in and batteries. My dad took the batteries out because this thing terrified me when it actually would sing and talk and move its eyes, and no. So I had this doll outside sitting on the stairs next to me when I noticed the eyes were shifted towards me and its mouth started to open and close. I took that doll so fast inside and buried it in my closet, and I never took it out again. Yeah, I was a very timid child. I was afraid of almost everything. But I loved horror. Can't explain it. We're not going to. During those years, I also had horrible ear infections, so sometimes I would sleep downstairs in the living room because the arm of the couch would keep my head propped up enough so my ears wouldn't hurt as bad and I could actually get some sleep. Well, on one of those nights, I couldn't sleep, and that wasn't really uncommon for me either because I was so afraid to go to sleep because of my night terrors that I just would try to stay awake as long as I possibly could. So I was watching TV, and that was the only light in the room. I remember it was really late, and I was watching some kids movie. I don't remember what. When I got this eerie feeling like someone was watching me in the dining room. At first I was too scared to look in the room, but when the sensation got too much, I looked over and saw a shadowy figure. I hid under the blankets hoping it would just go away, like every normal kid during those years when you're afraid of the monster under the bed. But in the morning, there was no sign of it, and somehow I fell asleep under the blankets. My dad told me later on that he sometimes would hear footsteps up in the attic, which wasn't really an attic. It was kind of a crawl space more so, because it was tight up there. You couldn't quite stand up. And there was no real way to get up there. So him hearing footsteps up there late at night, kind of weird. But he said it could have been anything, and it was late at night when he was probably exhausted and half asleep. Same thing with his... He thinks that he saw a female figure in the house, which he thinks might have been his mom, who passed away when he was really young. But again, saw it late at night when he was really tired and half asleep, so he doesn't think there was really anything there. When we moved to the house I'm in now, which I'm renting, the hallway to the front door always freaks me out. I don't know, I get this weird feeling in it like somebody's staring at me from the top stairs. It's unnerving, to say the least. And when I was in high school, I wore a necklace with a cross on it. Never took it off. I slept with it, bathed with it, everything. I just never took it off. Well, the cross was small, it was the Celtic cross, and it was on a chain with little silver balls on it, and it was hard to get the cross off of it. You had to really pull and be really careful to get it all over every single little tiny marble. Well, for some reason that morning, and my door was locked. I always had my door locked when I was a teenager. A typical teenager, I guess you could say. And I didn't have a history of sleepwalking. But for some reason, it was missing that morning. I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked in my jewelry box, I looked on my dresser, I looked everywhere. I could not find it anywhere. I went downstairs, asked my parents if maybe they had seen it. Maybe I left it on the kitchen counter. Maybe I left it in the bathroom. Anywhere. They told me no, and to just try looking for it again. And what happened to my character's arm? That is so weird. Okay. So I went back upstairs. I looked in my closet. And I stepped on the chain. No cross on it. And it was perfectly laid out, nice and neat, in a straight strand on the ground. I looked in the closet on the floor for the cross itself, but it wasn't there. I went into my room and just started trashing the place, basically trying to find this. When I dumped out my dirty laundry, there it was at the bottom of the basket. Freaked me out. And I can't explain it. I have no idea how it got there. Let me know what you think of all of these weird occurrences, and if you would like me to make a video of my night terrors. Next week, I will be talking about tarot, the history of it, and some of the decks I have. I love to collect tarot cards. I was going to say tarot card decks, but same thing. I'll let you know what those are. Some of my favorite spreads. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like this video. Lots more in store. Take care, everybody.